हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू माय चैनल क्लिनिकल बायोकेमिस्ट्री बाय डॉक्टर पीके प्रभाकर। मेरा नाम है प्रणव कुमार प्रभाकर एंड टुडे आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट द आर वैल्यू विच इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज आर फैक्टर. So we will see what is R value or R factor and how this R value is going to be calculated. Okay. So the first thing is we should know something about the R value and R factor. This is sometimes also called as R naught, or the full name of this one is called as basic reproduction number or basic reproductive number or basic reproductive ratio or basic reproduction ratio or rate, whatever you can call it. So these are having different names. There are some other terms also like that is called as RT or RE. We will later on come on those factors, those value also. So COVID-19 is very similar to the SARS and MERS, which was previously discovered and which is transmissible from the animal to human. So it is called as zoonotic virus. Most of the affected individuals exist mild or no symptoms and are unable to get tested, particularly in developing countries. So because they are not going to be tested, so it is one of the important thing for the transmission or communication. This is very significant, and there this R naught or R value comes. So R naught is the basic reproduction number, also known as basic reproduction ratio or rate, which is an epidemiological matrix used to measure the transmission of the infectious agent or virus. Normally this R value, government, public, mass media are increasingly focusing on this epidemiological value, that is R0 or R naught. This R naught and R0 is an infection is the expected number of cases directly generated by one case in a populations where all individuals are susceptible to infections. Now we will say we will take an example and we will say with the light. So basically the R value is how it is going to be infectious, how contagious this virus particular agent is. So for example, this R, if for any particular agent R value is 3, what does this mean? So in this mean is this is a infected person which is having an infections. So R value means he is going to infect or she is going to infect 3 person at a time. So these 3 person has got infections and each of the individual is going to infect 3 more people, because its R value is 3, so 1 person to 3 and 3 to 9. Again each of these 3 is going to infect to the other 3, so this 3 will infect the 9 more people. So overall after the 3 transmission, this is first transmission, this is the second transmission and third transmissions, we will have roughly 40 people infected. So this is R value means 3. So normally we are expecting that if R value should be 0.8, that is the ideal value, or it should be as less as possible than the 1. R value 1 means 1 person is going to infect to the 1 person. So the basic government scientific advisory group is normally going to expect that R value should be 0.7 to 0.9, or it will be on an average it will be 0.8. Now what is the history of this R value or public health importance of this R value? So this in the 1920s, the first time the demographer Alfred Lotka recommended the reproduction numbers as an estimate of the rate of reproduction in a selected populations. The same R value has been used by epidemiologist MacDonald, and they have used it for transmission of the malaria. As per the suggestions, if R value or R0 or R naught is less than 1, the disease will perish in the population, and if R value is more than 1, the disease will spread as fast, very fast. So this is the history of R value. Now what this R0 is an estimate of the contagiousness of a contagious agent or the virus or the bacteria. That is the function of human behavior and the biological characteristic of the pathogens. So normally whenever we are talking about the infection, contamination, there are two different things. It depends on host factor also, it depends on the pathogenic agents factor also. So both So R0 is the not a a measure of the severity of infectious disease. RD0 does not give you any information about the how severe is that particular disease or the rapidity of pathogens spread throughout the population. It is not a biological constant for a specific pathogen. For a same pathogen, this is R value or R naught is going to increase or decrease. Like for this COVID only, sometime it will be more than 1, sometime it will be less than 1. When it will be more than 1, the disease will spread very fast. When R value will be less than 1, the disease will slow down. So it is estimated when there is a zero immunity in the populations. Now this R0 is determinant of the following variables: the duration of infectivity after a patient get infected, the likelihood of the transmission of infection per contact person between the susceptible person and infectious means the fresh host and the infected host, and the contact rate. Here the infectivity of the pathogen and the duration of contagiousness are biological constant because that cannot be changed. So duration of contagiousness cannot be changed. Infectivity of the pathogens, that cannot be changed, that is the biological constant. But the extent of human to human interactions will vary, like how much time you are in the contact with the infected person or fresh host is in contact with the infected host. So this is going to vary, and hence R0 will vary dependent on this parameter. Because of this, here significance comes of the social distancing. So this explains the importance of the social distancing during the COVID-19 pandemic, because the time duration, the contact rate has been, if you are going to reduce the contact rate, duration of the contactness, so the disease infectivity R ratio R0 will decrease. It is also noted that R0 or R naught value for COVID-19 is higher than that of the SARS and MERS. What is other factor, that is RT and RE, or that is also called as effective reproduction number. So here RT is the number of people in a population who can be infected by an individual at a specific time. While measuring the transmission of this virus at any given time during an epidemic, we use RE or RT, that is effective reproduction number. It changes as the population becomes increasingly immunized, either by natural immunity or because of the infections, because of vaccination, or when people is going to die. So the community is going to be more immunized. Here the factor which is going to affect this RT or RE, the total number of population with infections, the number of susceptible host, fresh host with whom infected people are in the contact, and the people's behavior such as social distancing. Now if you see the R value in India, because it came down sometime back in the 2021 during the after the May, it came down below 1, so disease has been reduced, but again it is more than 1. So here if you see the average R value for India is 2.69, which was around 1.69 during the second wave during the May 2021. That time it was only 1.69. Now for Omicron it is 2.69. So means transmission rate is very high. If you will see a state-wise ratio, so Jharkhand is having very high R value, that is 5. Then Bihar 4.55, Delhi 4.35, then UP, then Rajasthan, Gujarat, Haryana. So it means how fast this disease is going to be transmitted from one person infected host to the fresh host. Now I will give you some information about this, how to measure this R0 value or R naught value. So R0 is usually estimated retrospectively manner from the social epidemiological data or using theoretical mathematical modeling. So when mathematical model are used, R0 values are estimated using ordinary differential equations. Two mathematical models are going to be utilized. The models are susceptible infectious recovered model or susceptible exposed infectious reversible model. Because here we are not going to talk about the mathematical modeling, so that's why I'm not going to give you those equations. Okay, so this is all about for the R value. So R value normally for a particular disease it is going to be changed. For same pathogen it can be varying, it is not a constant. It is not give you any seriousness or any kind of pathogenicity of the infectious agent. It only gives you how contagious that particular disease is, that how fast it is going to be transmitted from one person, one host to the next host. So this is all about for today. Hope you have understand it. If you have any query, any comments, you can write in the comment box. If you have not subscribed my channel, you can subscribe it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.